This man destroys female combat soldiers with straight facts. I got a banger from Morocco TV. Let's get straight into it.
You don't like women in combat?
No.
Why not?
I love women service members who contribute amazingly, because everything about men and women serving together makes the situation more complicated, and complication in combat
Leads to casualties.
means casualties are worse. When you actually break down what they did in the studies to open the door for women in combat, I mean,
They
just
lowered a lot of the standards, I think.
ignored them. So the Marine Corps was the only service that actually tried to fight back and say, and now obviously I'm exempting special operations, which thus far has held the line fairly well. Because if they were lowering the standard to become a Navy SEAL, just to let women inside the Navy SEALs, that's going to change the capabilities and ethos of the Navy SEAls, except for a very small example of some, female super soldier who's capable of doing it. But because of how Washington works, they're going to change the standards. They're going to push for quotas. We have numerous quotes in the book of, these standards aren't changing. They're just evolving. Okay, they're just evolving.
Okay.
To meet the needs of today.
They're not getting tougher.
They're not getting tougher. The reason women started getting in combat is because of forward support companies. We were integrating a lot of the rear echelon activities into BCTs, brigade combat teams, that were now deploying forward as an entity. And so you had women truck drivers or fuel or mechanics on these convoys in Iraq and Afghanistan, and then they'd be ambushed or hit by IEDs, and suddenly now you have women in combat. That's different than intentionally saying, we're going to put women into combat roles so they will do the combat jobs of men, knowing that we've changed the standards in putting them there, which means you've changed the capability of that unit. And if you say you haven't, you're a liar, because everybody knows between bone density and lung capacity and muscle strength, men and women are just different.
Fact.
And so if you want to, I'm okay with the idea that you maintain the standards where they are for everybody. And if there's some, hard-charging female that meets that standard, great, cool, join the infantry battalion. But that is not what's happened.
Yeah.
What has happened is the standards have lowered. I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated. Most of them actually are, a lot of them are pushed, I shouldn't say most, but many are pushed into a combat track because they're so highly capable. But if they had their first choice, it probably wouldn't be that. I mean, the Marine Corps did the study. Integrated units, meaning male, female, did drastically worse than all-male units. And Ray Mabus, who was the Secretary of the Navy in time in 2015, said, oh, fuck your study. We're doing it. Because that's what the Obama administration wanted. Take the assassination attempt of President Trump. I mean, in a perfect world, would you want to have like 6'3" guys guarding a 6'3" president?
Well, I'll tell you what, it sure as hell doesn't
Get the 5'3" women out there. Let's make it equal.
make sense to have a 5'5" woman in there guarding a 6'2" man.
Standards and capabilities have been subordinated to agendas.
So Trump's new defense secretary.
No, I agree with that 100%. Competency over any other metric. Competency over any other metric. I don't care, what your sex is, gender, anything like that. Competency should matter the most. Lord have mercy. That looked like it hurt. Yak 'em. Ooh. Poor babies. Oh. Bink 'em? Oh my Lord have mercy. See, this stuff to me, I'm like, why would you ever want to get into a ring with a man that's going to straight oh my God. Straight ragdoll you. Oh. Why would you even want to risk this? Why? What are you trying to do? Tammy Duckworth, what are you trying to prove with this, bro?
Rocket science, but some critics, fueled more by feelings than facts, seem to disagree.
There are over 200,000 American women who serve in active duty service right now, thousands of them in frontline combat roles. You were one of them. Do your colleagues who sit with you on armed services believe that Mr. Hegseth's statement there is an issue that he needs to perhaps retract?
Well, I think they need to because he's wrong. Our military could not go to war without the 220,000 plus women who serve in uniform. The women in our military does make us more effective. And so he's just flat out wrong. Our military could not go to war without the women who wear this uniform. And frankly...
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've gone to war many times without women. Shots fired! Like many times. And won.
America's daughters are just as capable of defending liberty and freedom as her sons.
Having served in combat yourself, what do you think of the idea that women make fighting more complicated? That was specifically what he focused on.
Well, it just shows his lack of understanding of where our military is. You know, he was a pretty low-ranking guy in the military, and he never had a command position. He was a platoon leader, I think, once or twice, but he never even commanded a company. And so this is a man who is inordinately
A platoon leader sounds like a man of authority. I wasn't a platoon leader.
Qualified for the position. Women actually make our military more effective.
Keep telling yourself that, darling.
One of Canada's
I
top...
feel like it's just so much copium right there. Canada's top military commander, Jenny Carr. I wanted to say Jenny Craig, just what I thought. Jenny Carr, whatever, calls out the GOP for questioning women in combat after 39 years. Oh, Lord have mercy, I cannot read fast enough. 39 years as a combat arms officer and risking my life in many operations. I can't believe that in 2024, we still have to justify women's contributions to defense and service in their country. I mean...
the usual, how dare you energy.
After 39 years of career as a combat arms officer and risking my life in many operations across the world, I can't believe that in 2024, we still have to justify the contribution of women to their defense and to their service in their country. And all the women sitting here in uniform, stepping in and deciding to get into harm's way and fight for their country need to be recognized for doing so. So again,
I don't want to take nothing away from women on that. Like, I think they should get recognized for doing so. But what I think we should do is not lower the standard to let them in. If these women are out there fighting just like other men, cool, let them. But don't lower the standards to let them.
When women in the military are saying their contributions don't matter, he's just...
That's what I'm saying. Your contributions matter, in my opinion. I think they totally matter. And I think these women should be revered for it and respected. But don't lower the standards to let them in.
I actually worked with Pete Hegseth on this very issue in 2014 when the discussion was first starting, before President Obama lifted the ground combat exemption for women. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about pilots. We're not talking about submarines. We're not talking about ships, okay? We're talking about...
What are we talking about then?
Infantry men who go cave to cave and spend up to 6 months out into field operations where you're not even showering on a regular basis. It is one of the most detrimental jobs, most physically demanding jobs. And I will tell you, women cannot equally defend themselves against a fellow fighter who usually fights on methamphetamines. It's equivalent to putting a woman in a mixed martial arts cage with a man. Even the best female athlete is not going to be able to sustain herself. Why? Because we have 45% less muscle mass, 20% less lung capacity. I'm going to take it one step further. The Marine Corps was the only branch of service that stood up to President Obama on this very issue. They said, we're going to do a study and prove to you whether it works or not. 9 months, they went out into field operations. They had women graduate infantry training school. They enlisted and then went out to 29 Palms, one of the most desert training environments, and demonstrated whether women could sustain with men. The integrated units with women and men were only 60% effective compared to non-integrated, only male-based units. Even the most qualified woman is always going to bump a more qualified man. The women that have gone through infantry officers course always continue to fail until they had to modify the requirements in order to have women pass. And very small numbers have. And one of the first women who had already graduated the school already has had to be discharged because of the physical limitations that have had upon her body. They have 20 to 30% more physical injury. Why is that? We don't have testosterone and our muscles cannot recover.
This theme,
bro, this lady was cooking. Get this woman a spatula. She was straight cooking, bro.
Male Marine who actually...
that was crazy. She was just hitting him with facts, though. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Up to be.
Captain Katie Petronio played ice hockey in college. She squats 200 pounds and benches 145 pounds.
Bro, squatting 200 pounds? I'm sorry. But chat, like squatting 200 pounds? Dude, I can bench press 225 like a few times. I'm only 180, by the way. But squatting 200 pounds? Bro, it's not hard. That's not difficult. That's not nothing to shake a stick at. Am I right, Lokes? Squatting 200 pounds? I'm sure you could squat 200 pounds, buddy. I'm almost pretty sure you could, bro. Wait. You know you're my good boy and I love you. Can we get some freeze in the chat? Pour flavor. Loki, wait. Free. Good boy. Good boy. Go to your place, buddy. She squats 200 pounds. Boy, a lot of you ladies carrying around 200 pounds.
Big back, big back.
Talking about squatting 200 pounds. That's nothing to be proud of. The squat. Did you already eat that, dude? Did you? But squatting 200 pounds is nothing to be crazy proud of.
He's already seen combat, 2 tours, one in Iraq and an even tougher one in Afghanistan. She ranked 4th out of 52 candidates in Officer Candidate School.
I wrote this article because 5 years ago, when I finished the basic school and just pinned on as an officer, I would have fully supported integration of females into the infantry. After 2 combat deployments, my perspective on this has completely changed.
Women will go through this combat endurance test, which has elements similar to the hand-to-hand combat shown here in this Army training video. And Captain Petronio worries that as the Department of Defense looks at ways to level the playing field for women, they may be harming female troops in the end. 2 combat tours taught her she wasn't physically as capable as her male counterparts.
I found that I broke down and had muscle atrophy and weight loss at a much faster rate and noticeable rate than my male Marines. I found myself tripping constantly, my legs buckling, falling during firefights, having a hard time responding to enemy contact as far as my response time from when I initially got to country.
Turns out war isn't a...
Bro, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with embracing our differences, bro. It's okay that men are more physically strong. That's okay. I'm cool with that. Like I said, if a building is burning and I'm inside of it, I'd much rather have a guy who's 6'4", 240 saving me than a woman who's 5'8" and 135. I'm cool with that. Y'all remember the LA wildfires when they were going down? And that cop, or was it one of the firefighters was like, if you're in a burning building, that's your fault you're in a burning building. You should be thinking about why you got yourself there. Like, are you kidding me? That's the response that we're getting from you guys? Like, bro, come on. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
Belong in combat jobs. That's as simple as I can state that. Now, JoJo here says a female member of my family served in combat. She went through the exact same rigorous training as her male counterparts. She passed all of it, and then she went out there and put her life on the line for all of us. So anyone who says women shouldn't serve in combat, I guess that means me, because JoJo, no, she didn't. Because in every school in the United States military, with the exception of Ranger School and other special operations trainings, the female standards are lower than the male standards.
Yeah, so low.
Meaning that women can be less fit, fast, and strong and still attain the same passing grade that men do. But when your standards are lower and you're not as fit, fast, or strong as your male counterparts, that makes you a less capable warfighter. That makes you lesser than. Now, JoJo, you want this to be true? That's fine. Give women the exact same physical standards that men have.
Thanks.
Make women achieve the same standards in the PT test, the same standards in everything we do, and then you'll have equality.
No, women should absolutely not serve in combat roles in the military. And I say this as somebody that is a decorated U.S. Army infantryman. I had a combat infantry badge, and I have 2 deployments in the Middle East. Women should not be serving in combat roles because, number one, most of the time, they are just not strong enough to do so. Now, when I served in my infantry unit, it was all male. They do not allow women in the combat infantry. And one of the reasons is because they're not physically capable enough to do the job. And the push to shove women into combat roles in the military has nothing to do with whether or not women actually really wanted to do this. It has to do a lot with the woke agenda that has been pushed through the military during the Biden administration and probably over these past 10 years. And if you look into the women that really have been placed into these combat roles, all of the qualifications, both physical and everything else, have been lessened so that these women can be there, and so that, you know, the Biden administration and all of these people could get some woke points. It's just not a place where women belong.
And let's not forget the recent TikTok trend where women were panicking at the idea of being drafted. So
this is coming from guys who have actually served. So chat, let me know if how many of you guys have actually served. Put one in the chat if you served. Now let me know in the chat as well, if you did serve, do you think women should be in combat roles? I bet it's going to be pretty safe to say that most of the guys that did serve will agree with a lot of these takes where women aren't supposed to be in combat roles.
Suddenly a lot of the feminist rhetoric about equality and combat readiness seemed to vanish.
Flashback. A new bill before Congress would require young women for the first time to register for the draft just like young men.
Hey, there we go. There's that equality we've been asking for, bro.
Ladies 18 to 26, hope you're ready to get drafted. It is not just the boys.
No, I can tell you right now you don't want me. Take one look at me. You think I can defend our country? I can barely defend myself in an argument. Why do women even have rights? I want to go back in time to when we had to be in the kitchen, no voting, no working, no rights. I'm fine with that. I don't want to go to war. I'll be in the kitchen making pookie a
That's what I don't know who says this, but it's like somebody says like feminism disappears when there's a war. Like that stuff women will be praising men to stay in the kitchen. But yes, baby, let me stay in that kitchen when the wartime hits.
Sandwich until he gets back. I'm cool with that.
Drafted into what, my guy? I can't even argue with someone without crying. I'm gonna show up in my UGG slippers, my Stanley Cup, with my Dyson Airwrap. I hope my acrylic nails don't fall.
Who do you think you're talking to? We're literally all mentally ill. Disqualified. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, sounds like fun. I should be free, but I did have a few quick questions before I committed to anything for sure.
I'm not ready right now. I just woke up, I was gonna shower and wash my hair, but let me know where it is, and if I'm feeling up for it, maybe I can meet you at the battle.
Big thank you to the uber feminists out there. You're the ones who are like, women can do anything. Yeah, I can do everything a man can do. Okay, well, had to open your big trap. Now women might be drafted in the military, and you can't even complain about it because you wanted this.
You asked for it.
Wanted equality for all. I don't want to be drafted.
Look, in the interest of freedom, anyone who wants to join the military should be able to, provided they can meet the criteria and the standards. But when do we get to stop pretending that men and women are physically equal? They literally put Ted Cruz's quote about how women should never be in a circumstance to face hand-to-hand combat with a man as if he's wrong.
Now when someone like Hegseth...
I mean, hey, she's got a point. I don't know, chat. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys agree that women should not serve in combat roles? I just don't think they should. And I think if they want to serve in a combat role, cool. Just don't lower the standards. This is the whole problem with DEI, in my opinion, is it excludes people that are exceptional. And I always think we should go for competency over any other metric. If you're good at something and you're exceptional, you deserve to get that exceptional role. Like SEAL Team 6. I don't think they should lower the standards for SEAL Team 6. Those are the best of the best. Or Delta Team, like those are the best of the best. Like Delta Force, I don't want anybody to lower the standards for that. I want the standards to be very high, very, very high. All right, let's jump into the battle stations chat here and see what we got. Oh my lord, what is this? This dude has got something cooking in the Discord, bro. What? This is next. What are you playing on this, Tron? Bro, that is insane. 10 out of 10. Whose was that? Little video what the lights look like. Bro, this is crazy nice setup, bro. You got a crazy nice setup on that. Yeah, dude, that's it. That's it right there. You're cooking with gasoline on that, bro. Cooking. Gas in the top burner. Wow. That's impressive, bro. That's very impressive. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Who was that? That was J. Russ, 1976. Bro, you cooking with that. Work, this is his work setup, he says. Minecraft. Okay, hey, I like it. A little mobile setup. Nothing wrong with that, bro. Are you playing video games while you're on the treadmill? I love it. I love seeing the working out, dude. Good for you, bro. I just got back from the gym this morning. And this is from Omega. Hey, Levi, I love watching your vids every morning when I'm going to school. Watching you help me get my right mindset. And now I'm in IT school, now aiming on being stable and While I was doing all that, I built my first PC and setup got better over time. With a span of 2 months, I fixed my setup. Dude, love that, bro. I love that, Omega. All right, let's look at this. Nice. Okay. Nice little quaint. Got the big screen there. Don't know if you're doing a lot of gaming because your refresh rate on that's probably not the best. But okay. You got a little PC monitor. Okay. Yeah, dude, I'll give this a 6 out of 10. Not bad. Get your cable management cleaned up, but it looks like you got your feng shui there. With the mobile setup, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10 just because I don't really do a lot of mobile setups. What is this one? This is Morningstar. What do we got here? Your laptop's not open. You got the little bin there. Okay, looks like you're into rocks. What is that, geology? There you go. There's the Levi Nichs show. You got you some brownie points on that one. I'm going to go ahead and give that one, this one a 5 out of 10. I'd say get some of those cords that you have, put them behind the things that you have, and you can feng shui that a little bit better. Maybe get you a second screen or do something like that. But yeah, dude, this one right here, who is this again? Love the channel and watch dailies from J. Russ. Since you showcase listener systems occasionally, wanted to share the command center while I watch your channel. Be launching my own history and politics channel. This dude listed out everything, bro. This is insane. I got to watch this again. This is insane, bro. Like what are you cooking with right here? One sec. Let me play this again. That is crazy. With the lights, bro. You cooking right there, bro. 1,000 screens. This looks like you're hacking into the mainframe. You know, you see those shows and the hackers are like, I'm in. I've made it past the syntax terminals. That's what that looks like. I've made it past the syntax terminals. Yeah, I'm in. That's and it's always those two words. I'm in. That's what I said to Cass the first time. I'm in. That was terrible. Loki, wasn't that horrible? Horrible joke, dude. I guess all my jokes are dad jokes now, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Go to LeviNichs.com for some of that exclusive Ricky Sickle merch. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.